I covered this part already, which is I used to be an accountant, in which I finished my ACCA. And I thought I would be very interested into taking this path as an accountant and also mainly pursuing a compliance role. But turns out I wasn't that much interested in it, and I personally still have a knack for technology and also data related backgrounds. So I decided, I want to make a transition lah. So that's why I even took the masters in the first place. So 3 main things from a master's takeaway is that, one, it is an upskilling for the future. I'm sure many of you over here are fresh graduates, or you guys have decided to make a career change or upskill. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to have actual real applications, like creating pipelines, training models, making data visualizations, and also doing research. So these are the valuable skills that you guys will need, especially when you guys are planning to get into a role that is related to data. The second is getting closer to the cutting edge, because I'm not so sure if you notice, when Dr. Riaz create like seminars like this, it is to bring us closer to the developments that's happening all around the world, so that we actually would know what is happening, just not just in our academic space, but also towards the broader the broader industry scale. Like, for example, what people are actually using the generative models for. And third is a passion for data. Actually, one of the reasons why I even started masters is actually because of data visualizations. I actually love creating charts and like, telling stories with charts. So that little interest got me through the 1.5 years after I made friends and also met lecturers like Dr. Riaz. So after that, I decided to make a change for my career. And transitioning into data engineering. So one of the more transferable skills I would say from this sector is really the soft skills, which is how you do research, how you analyze, and also how you communicate insights. Because some people may confuse that, as a data engineer, you don't really need to, talk to people. You can just, build pipelines on the way. But then that's actually not true. Actually, majority of the time, you have to convince stakeholders what you're actually doing. Because most of the time, the people who task you to create the pipelines are not technical people. At least that's from my experience. So people want this particular data, but then they don't really understand what your jargons are. So they will need to know what actually you're bringing to the table and how this will actually solve the problem. So communication skills and analytical skills, being able to be on your feet and answering questions like, how your solution really changes the current workflow and how it saves man hours and everything. Because I would say data engineering, especially for the Malaysian context, a lot of the companies do not have a very solid data workflow or very solid data governance framework, so that if you ever get into a role for a company who are trying to do data monetization projects, you will need to expect you need some education on the way, because not everybody is as well tuned towards data as you are. So as I just covered, this is what you can expect from a data engineer. So one is building data pipelines, communicating data insights, project management for projects. Like, for example, let's say management wants to know how is the business doing right now. So they would require you to draw data from different warehouses to create a dashboard, for example, or create a particular insight that they want, a particular data point that consolidates a number of different sources. So these are the type of projects that you can expect. And so not only that, you also need to make some technical advancements. Like, for example, you need to buy new servers, or you need to mainly communicate with IT on one particular problem you're trying to solve or debug. So those are the kind of things that you can expect from being a data engineer, is that you kind of be a PM for this kind of roles. Afterwards is constant upskilling for cloud infrastructure. I'm sure a lot of companies are looking to AWS, Azure, or even Google Cloud. So, and finally is to educate others. You're also a change agent in many cases, in which you need to bring up the company's environment towards how you want to create, make people more tuned towards technology lah, and not just use Excel for everything. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have had some experience with databases and also know how to code. So these are the great steps towards how to manage a lot more data, because I'm sure Excel has a limit of 1 million rows, in which a lot of data points, CSV files, are actually bigger than 1 million. So in order to create to query them more effectively, you need some sort of code base like IDE, or you need some form of database technologies lah. These are some of the tools that I used along the way for my masters and also in my work. So these are some of the important things that you guys could be looking into setting up lah. So first, Python is libraries. Python is a great tool, a very, I would say it's like a screwdriver for data science, because it's very well used. And then you can, most of the time, it will be used because to make scripts and so to query different libraries, to make visualizations. If you can code well, fantastic. Number two, R programming. This depends on the company's context, but then software kind of vibe, so that you can look at your code while you code. Yeah, so that you can look at the interactive kind of way lah. And third is a good IDE. This is something that I only explored after I finished my master's, which is honestly a bit late. But then look into VS Code, Cursor, any form of code-based framework where you can actually host GitHub projects. So these are great because oftentimes there will be great libraries and so great projects that people created from GitHub that you will be, tasked to actually draw from it and actually test some of the code lah. So having a good IDE to host all your projects is a fantastic start. After that, cloud services. This is something that I'm still exploring after I finish the GCP. So some companies, they may have already ordered pre-existingly for AWS or Azure. They have certifications that you can go and try.